So we are back for the next section of edits to make to the page. Let's take a quick look where we are. We have our project set up, our teams structurally sound. And if we take a look at our preview, which is right over here, what else on this page would make for an easy win? And I'm looking at our customers here, and guess what? Looks like another grid to me. And instead of 5 or 4 items, we have more. We have 10. And the difference here is that it's across 2 rows, not just one. So that's our approach here. And once again, do I need to copy and paste? Not even, because this is even more simple. It is just basically literally a container that holds a logo in it. So I'm just going to jump in and go down to the customers area, which is where we want to do this work. And again, what we'll do is we'll start by creating the container for the grid. So div class equals customers grid, so that we're consistent with our naming and we can predict that way what it does. And in here, we just need to put in a div. Do we even need to give this a class name? This is going to be like the container that holds the logo. You know what? I'm going to say no. But the div will help us manage the logo inside. So it'll give us at least some control over it and won't be all over the place. And I'm just going to put in some text here, image placeholder. In fact, I'll call it the logo placeholder. And how many of these do I need? 10 of these. Okay, so I'm just going to copy and paste this 10 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see that it just put it in there very quickly and easily. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create a class for this, new parent container. And I'm going to jump down to the section customers here and put it in there. So it's going to be customer grid. And guess what? It's going to be a display flex. There you go. Now, as you can see here, there's 10 of them, so the logos just fly off the side of the page because you can't fit them all in. So what I need to do is tell that container to wrap when it hits the end. So flex wrap those raggedy edges. There you go. Now here we have 3 rows, not 2. But again, not something we need to worry about right now. Once we place the image inside, maybe things will change. So let's not tackle that right now. But what we do want to do is, again, put some space around here. So justify content, space between. And now we have our logos nicely organized and placed all over. And what else are we missing here? The headings. And for that, we can again copy and paste from just above here, the headings. Beautiful, right there. Don't forget the closing tags. And there it is. So right above the customer grid, paste it in and rename these. So this is our customers. And it's aspirational that we like to have one day So it's coming together. You know that? Look at that. Coming together. And believe it or not, should we stop here and work on something else, or should we bring in some images and play around with them and see what happens? Well, let's take a couple of minutes and see what happens. I'm going to go here to the div container. I'm going to remove placeholder text, and I'm going to go ahead and insert an image. So what I want to do is, what are we looking for here? The Levi's logo. So we're going to go to projects, clients. I guess that's customers. Oh, look at that. There's the Levi's logo. Now I wonder if I could just drag it in. If I click here and drag it in there, will it work? It will not. If I drag it into the code, will it work there? It will not. Bummer. I guess I have to do it the other way, which is to actually type out the code. So for this, we need image, our source, enter, is in the folder called images, in a subfolder called clients, and in there we should find the Levi's logo. There it is. And now I guess we can close that thing. And that does not look like the Levi's logo in any way, shape, or form, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it right now. But what's one thing we want to make sure happens inside this container? We want to make sure that if we make the image or the page smaller or larger, the image scales. So in the image, remember we had a class right at the beginning for image. What did we call it? If I look there, it's right at the top. Up. IMG fluid. And that's why I didn't find it. That IMG fluid needs a dot there. Otherwise, it's not a real class name. Sorry for that mistake. So .img fluid will give us a responsive behavior on this image. So let's try that again. Dot image fluid. There it is. So add that in. So technically, if I resize this window, oh, yeah, I see what's happening here. Well, oh, okay, it's working. That's kind of what we want. Excellent. Okay. But what we also probably want when we're viewing it on larger desktops is to have a maximum size for these logo containers. Otherwise, they're just going to scale to like enormous sizes. So what I'm going to do in the customer grid, which is this entire container with all the containers in it, I'm going to create a style. And of course, I'll keep it together with the other customer stuff. There it is. And I'm going to use, again, a customer grid. Oops. But every div container in it, which contains the logo, I want to have a maximum width of 188 px. Maybe larger. Let's go with 200. There you go. Don't forget, we have like exaggerated padding in these things. So once we remove that, things will scale down a little bit. So this is a nice yeah, I mean, we can technically copy this repeatedly and just swap out the image, and we build out the entire section. Let's see what that's like. I'll do one first. I'll copy this one. and replace that. And instead of levi's.png, you see what I did? I erased some of the existing code, and then when I continued it, it brings back the browsing menu. So I can look for Lee jeans. There you go. Lee jeans. Bingo. And that's it. I would just go down the list here and I guess replace the rest. I mean, technically I could just grab the image, replace the placeholder. And then slash. What's next? Puma. There we go. And so on and so forth. I think you get the idea. So just go down the list and swap out the image with what belongs in there based on the preview or whatever you feel like putting in there. And then we'll circle back and look at what other section we can fix up. See you there.